I was wondering if anyone might have any input, any understanding on these numbers. This particular sequence of numbers, it's known as the first 752 square, and it was sort of mysterious how these numbers came about, in that they weren't necessarily mathematically ascertained. Rather, they were more, as I call it, telepathically received, or intuitively perceived in a way, but received really more than perceived, because it was just something that I would ask a certain particular individual, and this person would give me a number every day off the top of their head, and it's what you would call random. But I don't think it's random. I think it's more something. Well, I'll just leave it for whoever's listening to determine at what level they want to determine it. But in any case, I've been what you might say stewarding these numbers, holding on to them, and studying them and trying to understand what they mean. And I've consulted AI for one of the squares. Now this is called a square. It's 5 by 5. Yeah. Now AI, going back to AI can determine a lot of the mathematical, the probability, the statistics, the trends, the mathematical, purely numerical properties. Like AI would add them all up together, and then would give you the average number, and would give you the median, and would give you all the highest and the lowest, and just really like statistical data, and just purely mathematical. But I think there's more to it. AI was not able to determine. There's one level that AI will not be able to go. Maybe in the future it will, but AI does not delve into the metaphysical, from what I have experienced, and that might be a new frontier for AI to go to explore the metaphysical. But when I ask questions about metaphysics with regards to these numbers, AI cannot, at least Gemini, the AI that I was using, was not able to go there. And it was interesting, is that AI advised that I spend some time in deep meditation and solitude and prayer. It's interesting. Maybe that's as far as they'll go, spiritually or metaphysically. But in any case, these numbers, I want to combine the logic and the groundedness, so to speak, of mathematics, and that's sort of my spiritual direction, my derech, you might call it, my way. And so this is the first. I can say a few things about this square. Number one, it's a 5 by 5 grid, so it's 25 numbers, 3-digit numbers, and it represents a time period of 35 days, because each box, okay, are days of the week. So the yellow is Thursday, the purple is Friday, the green is Monday, the fuchsia is Tuesday, and the blue is Wednesday. But if you just heard me reciting these days, you will soon see that I left out Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday would be this thin white strip in between the purple and the green. And they're not shown, but they are accounted for. Just they don't have any numbers. But they are counted. There's 10 extra days there, so that makes 35 days. So 25 plus this 10, 35 days. And this was the first of the 20 boxes, 20 squares. There's 20 of these 5 by 5s. And the first, what I call the first 752 square, and that's one of the reasons why it's called 752 square, because it's 7, 5, and 2. And 7 is the number 7, like 7 days of the week. And then there's 5 that are shown, and 2 that are not there. And this has many ramifications. I'll just give one example. In the pictures of the Chabad Rebbes, there are 5 Rebbes that have portraits or pictures, starting from the first one, Rabbi Shneur Zalman Ladati, up until the Lubavitcher, the previous Lubavitcher, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, blessed memory. And there's 2 Rebbes that are missing. I think it's the Marash, maybe, and the Mitzler Rebbe, maybe. Anyway, so that's just one example of five that are there and two that are not there. So anyway, that's one example. But anyway, so we have here, starting with 051. Okay, so the time period that this box was created, it marks Thursday. This top left corner, it's read from left to right, like any spreadsheet, like any grid that's American or just regular English, like left to right. And this is A1. Okay, B1, C1, D1, E1, A2, A3, etc. Okay, so 051. So this is the Thursday that was the Thursday was December 26th of 2019. So already there's an interesting correlation here. Over my years of study, this is actually going on 7 years old. This December, God willing, it will be 7 years old. 7 years that I had these numbers, as they were started in 2019, December of 2019, and this December will be December of 2026. And so what's interesting about when it got started, it was right, if everyone can remember, it was right before Corona. So the 2019, the last of the 2019, and even the first month of 2020, there still wasn't the chaos of the whole Corona thing with the masks and all the other craziness that went on with it, and the lockdowns and everything else that went along with it. So this is a Thursday, and this is Thursday, December 26th of 2019, right here. The next day would be a Friday, would be the 27th, obviously. Then Saturday and Sunday are not seen, so that would be 28th and 29th, and then Monday would be the 30th, etc. As it goes along. So, and then it went up until Wednesday, January 29th. This bottom blue is always a Wednesday. Okay, this right here is Wednesday, January 29th of 2020. Now, in the Hebrew dates, this was actually, it's like the third or fourth, I think the fourth day of Hanukkah. And that was the 28th day. Wait a minute, I can just count right here. 25 is the first day, 26 is the second day, 27, yes, it was the fourth day of Hanukkah right here in 2019. So it was 28, Yom Chamishi, which is the Hebrew way of saying Thursday, fifth day of the week. Yom Chamishi, 28 of Kislev, okay? 28 of Kislev, until, of the year 5780, okay? And then it went until Yom Revi'i, which was the third day of Shvat. This would be the third day of Shvat, over here. Third day of Shvat of 5780, which was January 29th, of course, like we said before. So Yom Revi'i, the third day of Shvat of 5780, and the numbers, I found some correlations, some meanings. This 051 I connected to the year 1951. It's like 51. 051 is 51. And 51 is the year that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson of blessed memory, became the Rebbe. And since Chabad is so focused on Mashiach, on the Messiah, I think that this entire work is a messianic work and meant to bring knowledge of the Messiah to the world, to myself included. I mean, I'm still learning that myself. That's why it's like the idea of open source. It's like when I ask the community for help. Maybe there's a mathematician out there that would understand these numbers better than I do. So I take it as I have been some kind of the term is steward. You know, a steward meaning someone who was given charge of this particular job to hold on to these numbers. And then maybe in the right time, someone a lot smarter than me and a lot more knowledgeable in mathematics and Torah and everything else, or anything else, or it's not limited to mathematics and Torah. It could be physics. It could be someone has some particular knowledge in any discipline. it could shed light on what this is. But the basis is Torah, Torah and mathematics. That's the basis of it, and the Messiah, Mashiach. And so now we have a few ideas about what this would mean. Like, for example, the 516 is the numerical value of the word teku, and teku is something that means we don't have the answer. It remains unresolved until the coming of Elijah. Elijah is tied in with the Messiah. Elijah comes to announce the Messiah. So this, I would say that this 516 would represent that idea, because there was a work I did called Teku. It's already finished. It's on the internet now. It's all the Tekus in Shas, all the Tekus in the Talmud Bavli, and so that's one idea. And I mean 331. I mean, potentially any number here can be the sum total of all the gematrias that equal that number. Like, for example, if I would say, okay, 435. I happen to have studied that number for a while, so that would be like Achia HaShiloni, Ahijah the Shilonite, at times of the King Solomon, and then Rehoboam and Jeroboam ben Nevat, and Rechavam, and the split. So 435 equals Achia HaShiloni, Ahijah the Shilonite. So, anyway, what else? There's also Lo Bashamayim, I think. It's not in heaven. That's also the story of the Tanur Shel Achnai. So also 435. So it's like there's a bunch of things that could be. But anyway, leave it here for now. If anyone has any input on these numbers, we'll be happy to see them and hopefully start a discussion in the comment section.